Please work. Peace, y'all. Greetings. We're gonna see how, because I am out and about in these streets. Somebody ain't got their seatbelt on. This is day 3 of the birthday stories, chronicles. That's what I've been calling them, birthday chronicles. And since we are riding, and the root chakra is the one that came up, my mate suggested that we talk about trauma that happens from the root chakra. So I know I have mentioned this before on my healing chamber page. How did I get into health dynamics? How did I get into things that as far as from an eating or a healing perspective? And that was really me researching what did I need to do in order to heal. I was having bladder infections. I was plagued with bladder infections since I was about probably 2 or 3. I had a surgery at the age of 5, between 5 and 7, I believe. When I turned about 15 or 16, the doctors told me that I would have to be on permanent antibiotics because they didn't understand why I was having consistent bladder infections. I was doing everything. I had a strict diet I had to follow, supposedly, but all the foods that they were suggesting that I eat were now what I look at as toxic foods. But by the time I hit probably about 18, 19, I started researching on my own. What do I need to do from a different perspective in order to heal these bladder infections? Because I refused. I was like, I'm not getting ready to be taking antibiotics for the rest of my life. That's some dumb shit. That don't even sound like it makes sense. Okay. So when I was in college and I got really, really sick. This is what triggered the whole dynamic. I got real sick to the point where I used to get bladder infections to the point where I couldn't walk. That's how bad the pain was. I went to the hospital, finally made it to the hospital. Of course, they did their regular. Here's your antibiotics. Here's this dynamic. And I was like, this is dumb as hell. Why am I still going through this same routine? So there were 2 dynamics that was happening. One, stress was triggering it. Stress. So every time that I would get stressed, every time that I would get worked up about something, my body would respond. Every time. The other thing was emotional. It was an emotional response. Okay. So that is what that particular episode, my grandmother had to come stay with me, so she could help me take care of my daughters. All of these dynamics made me go a different route. I remember I had a friend and I was telling him what was going on. You're gonna go straight. And I was like, they're telling me to do exploratory surgery. They wanted me to go and do exploratory surgery and stay on permanent antibiotics. Now, y'all know that sounds like some bullshit. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. Okay, so he recommended for me to go to a holistic doctor. And in between me being who I am, I'm a researcher. So before I even went to the holistic lady, I went to like one of the the bookstores that was like for health food stuff. And I'm in there looking for books and trying to figure out how to heal myself. And the lady that was in there doing readings, oddly enough, that day, she was like, well, what you looking for, sweetie? And I told her, I was like, oh, I'm just looking for some books to heal my body. I've been having like chronic bladder infections. And she was like, well, what you pissed off about? And I was like, what? She was like, what are you pissed off about? She said, you got bladder infections and you can't get rid of your bladder infections. What are you pissed off about? I was like, oh shit. I ain't think about that. So that is what led me into a specific journey. Learning emotions and how they trigger certain reactions in your body. It made me start researching. What have I been through? What sort of trauma have I been through that I've been holding on since I was 2 that would create this type of reaction? And for me, it was molestation. So I had experienced at a very young age being molested by my cousin. And I was still holding on to that. I thought at that particular age I had dealt with the issue because I remember with the journey that I've been on, the information I've read and, writing the letter, I never confronted this person, but I had did all the work that you're supposed to do. But I still was holding on to the energy. Not only was I holding on to that energy, now anybody who has been following me, y'all have heard me say several times, I had been holding on to the anger towards my father. Not understanding why we didn't even have a good relationship. I didn't even get that part. Because my father was he was at home. My father, I had a 2-parent home. My father had been there through everything with me. Literally, anytime I wanted to move, that man was with his pickup truck helping move all my shit. Anytime I needed something done, he was there helping me do whatever it is that I needed done. But when I say I had a very toxic exchange with my father, not realizing that energy was coming from me being angry with him because I didn't feel protected. Me being angry with him because he was a man. Me being angry with him over some stuff that he had nothing to do with. So it took this particular journey for me not only to see I'm holding on to the energy of being molested. I'm holding on to the energy of being raped. I'm holding on to the energy of allowing men to put their toxic ass energy in me by that point. And not releasing what needed to be released. Not releasing what needed to be healed. And when I understood, okay, this is some shit. I'm holding on to all of this shit and I'm creating this vibration, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally. It was making certain relationships gravitate towards me because now I'm vibrating at that frequency. So now I'm attracting people that were bringing that type of energy towards me, that they didn't have no respect for my wound. They didn't have no respect for what was going on with me. So that's why I kept going through these dynamics. So when I decided to not only research what was happening, not only take the time to understand how emotions break down your body, not only take the time to understand how food interact with your body, understand how you need to get a massage. I don't even talk about that, but you need to be getting the massages on a regular basis so it can actually use that energy to move things through your body so your body can flow and be very fluid. I, at that point, started understanding that it was way deeper than what these doctors were trying to do. So, with all of that being said, that's what led me on the healing journey, even more intensely or more deeply. That's what put me in a space where I started researching, reading, understanding the importance of all the different healing modalities and why we need them in our life, and why we need to definitely research when doctors is trying to give you a dead end solution to whatever it is they're saying that you got. So you got to pay attention, because their asses will be quick to give you a prescription and say, oh, just do this. And they talking about, or they want to give you an exploratory surgery. And you be like, the hell? What I need exploratory surgery for? Why y'all don't know what? It's a root to this. And that my mind has always been solution oriented. In anything I do, you can ask my mate, like anything I do, I'm very solution oriented. Okay, this is the problem, then what can I do to fix it? How can I fix this situation? So I've been like that since I was young. This is the problem. Okay, well, we need to fix this shit. I ain't thinking about nothing else. That's how I was when they gave me that so-called dead end solution. I was like, okay, y'all said that this is what's going on. I don't believe that shit. Let me figure out how I can fix it, because obviously y'all don't know what the hell you talk about. Not knowing that just that one little dynamic was going to lead me on a very deep mission, on a deeply healing dynamic. Because me healing that aspect, I haven't had a bladder infection in so long, considering that I was having them like chronically. And then by the time I promise, it's so funny, because the last time I had one, I knew immediately, okay, you holding on to a lot of anger and a whole lot of energy, so you need to release why you angry and who you angry with. Work on that, release that energy, and move forward. So pay attention when your body is showing you symbols and messages and signs. What do you need to fix? What do you need to heal? What do you need to work on? Take the time to really do the research and say, okay, if my shoulder is consistently hurting me, what weight am I holding? Why do I feel like the responsibility of the whole world is on me? When your chest is hurting, it's directly connected to something that's going on that you're repressing. Your throat is shutting down. You're not expressing yourself and saying what it is that you need to say. Your bladder shutting down. You pissed at somebody. Your reproductive system is shutting down. That's some trauma that's doing that. That's all trauma related. What is it that you need to heal? What is it that you need to fix? What information do you need to access that's going to help your journey a little better, help you navigate? It's not easy. It's been plenty of times that when I was going through that process that I was crying. There's plenty of times that I just was like, fuck this, I ain't doing this shit no more. Like, time out. Tag me out. I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to do this part. Like, it's too deep. But I'm so thankful today that I allowed myself to go through the process, that I allowed myself to heal from a deeply internal, and that's still part of my process, y'all. The shit is not just overnight. There's still moments, that come up that I have to still heal from. There's still triggers and dynamics that remind me that has not been completely healed within me. So don't think that it's an overnight process. Don't think that it's going to be gone in a year. It's a process. Just be patient. So I'm going to leave y'all with this, because we done pulled up at my eating spot, so I got to go. Allies in Healing. It's one of my favorite books when it comes to, and Sacred Woman. Those are my two books if you've been through any type of trauma, if you need to heal from a womb perspective. So all my women who've been dealing with men, all my women who have had miscarriages, all my women who have had any sort of trauma, Allies in Healing and Sacred Woman. Those are your two books. I promise you it's going to change your life. I promise y'all. All right. I love you guys. That was day 3. I will that y'all have an amazing weekend. We about to go get our stomachs full, because I like to eat. Yep. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace.